Malaysia. He has more than 15 years of industry experience. He's a certified safety and health officer, authorized gas tester and scaffolder by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health. He also a certified radiation protections officer by the Atomic Energy Licensing Board. He also a well-versed in Malaysia environmental and occupational safety and health related to Act and regulations, namely OSHA 1994, FMA 1967, EQA 1974, Poison Act 1995, and many others. So with that, let us welcome T.S. Chin. So now I pass the time to you, T.S. Chin.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Leong. A very good afternoon to everyone. So thank you for being here with me today. So without further ado, let me give you a little bit of heads up about my sharing today. All right, one moment, please. So basically what I want to share with you today is how to increase university graduates' marketability through work-based learning and multi-skill-based program design. All right, so throughout this whole session, we are going to actually talk about the current undergraduate unemployment problems and those contributing factors to this issue. So secondly, we will try to understand what actually the employers want from our fresh graduate. All right. So lastly, we will discuss how a university degree program should be designed to prepare our students to meet those industry expectations in their future career. All right. Basically, the formula is very simple. Just to understand what the employers want, then we give them what they want. Right. So let's move on. So I believe every now and then you have heard people telling you that it's difficult to secure a job nowadays, even though you are a degree holder. All right, I'm not talking about securing a very good job with a very good prospect. Just to get a job nowadays could be very, very tough, right? There are some studies that I'm going to show you later how tough is the job market these days. All right, that's why it's very important to actually get yourself ready earlier so that you can secure a better position in the job market later on. All right, that's why your degree program is very, very important. All right, whereby that is consider your final training ground before you are stepping into a job market in the future. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at some of those studies that have been done. Okay, some inconvenient truth for you all. According to a study done by EduAdvisor in 2019, all right, it shows that unemployment in Malaysia is concentrated among the youth. Okay, whereby 5.8 out of 10 of those unemployed are below age of 34. Okay, they also found that more than 290,000 students graduate annually. Okay, but 1 in 5 fresh graduates remain unemployed 6 months after graduation. Okay, so these fresh graduates actually consist of those certificate, diploma, and also a degree holder. Okay, so among fresh graduates with tertiary education, 25% degree holders are unemployed. Okay, 1 out of 4 degree holders are unemployed. Okay, of which 35% of them are from social sciences, business, and law. Okay, so these tell us two things. All right, basically. So first thing is degree nowadays is no longer guarantee you a job. Okay. Secondly, the discipline that you study is actually very important as well. Okay, meaning to say the degree program that you choose should be able to get you prepared for the to meet the expectation of the future job market. They should actually equip you with the right kind of knowledge and also skill required by the job market. Okay, so that this will actually put you in a better position in the future job market after you graduate, right? And according to another studies done by MEF, Malaysian Employers Federation, all right? So in year 2020, this is quite a recent data, all right? So there are currently 600,000 jobs in the market, but out of these 600,000, only 30,000 are executive jobs, all right? The other 570,000 are actually non-executive jobs. Okay, but as a university graduate or a degree holder, you actually qualify for both. All right, but surely you will actually go and aim for executive jobs rather than non-executive jobs, right? Knowing that executive jobs they are generally offering a better pay and also better prospect. But currently, what we can see based on this data is actually we don't have enough executive jobs for all the graduates. All right. So the key is how you be able to actually stand a better chance to actually grab one of those executive jobs. All right. So we will discuss further about that. Okay. So basically, why so many graduates remain unemployed? Okay. Why most of the graduates cannot get a job? Okay. There are always reasons for this. All right. So many will think that graduates are being too picky nowadays. All right. So you might think that way, right? But studies actually found that this is not the reason. All right. Most of the time, graduates is actually being rejected by the employers rather than the graduates actually rejected the job by themselves. All right. So why? Because they can't offer what the employers want. Okay, so let's look at some of the studies which actually reveal what is the reason actually many graduates actually get turned down by the employer, right? Okay, let's look at this survey done by Hazana Research Institute. All right, so these are the top reasons for fresh graduate unemployment. Okay, so the first reason is skills mismatch. Okay, so meaning to say that fresh graduate nowadays, they don't have or they are lacking in some important skills which is perceived as important by the employers or by the industry. Okay, so what are these important skills? Soft skill, work experience, and hard skills. Okay, because most of the degree program, they don't really emphasize on soft skills and also work experience, but they do emphasize on hard skills. That's why I'm saying that we are lacking in some of the important skills that actually perceived as important by the employers, okay, during the design stage of the program of study, okay, because most education institutions, they emphasize academic and professional qualification. But while the employers actually prioritize soft skills and work experience, they want you to be able to, for example, work independently. So without work experience and also some of the soft skill like leadership skill, you won't be able to do so. Okay, of course, you might actually graduate with like a first class honors, okay, but without this work experience and soft skills, you might not get hired, okay, sometimes, all right? So the second reason is a low take-up rate for STEM. So STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, as we can see nowadays, there are lesser and lesser students actually willing to enroll for STEM courses. Okay, so only 32% of the tertiary students are enrolled for STEM courses. Okay, the rest of the 68, so they are taking this business lah, finance lah, law lah, okay, that kind of courses. Okay, knowing that there is increasing demand by the employers nowadays because Of course, we still need a lot of engineer in the market. We still need a lot of scientists, technologists, okay, mathematician, okay. So, but we are not producing enough students to actually fulfill that kind of demand lah. All right. So same goes to TVET, okay, technical and vocational education and training. So these are mostly offered by these polytechnics lah. Okay. So again, the demand is actually, or the enrollment rate is actually very low. Okay, knowing that, yes, again, this is a very useful skill and qualification for the future job market, but students not willing to actually enroll for this kind of program nowadays. Okay, so another reason is actually the job search and recruitment mismatch. Okay, meaning to say job seekers and actually they are actually looking at the wrong platform when applying jobs. All right, which is not the platform that being used by most of the recruitment agency lah, or the company lah. Okay, so job seekers actually look for jobs through job fair and also public employment services, while the employers prefer to use online ads and also informal networks to recruit. Okay, and the final reason is actually lack of entrepreneurship skills, meaning to say that if you are unemployed, so if you have that kind of entrepreneurship skills, you can always become a boss on your own. You can start your own business rather than actually being unemployed lah, right? So, but student nowadays just not having enough entrepreneurship skill to actually to start on their own lah, so to say. Okay. So it's very important to actually understand what the employers want, what the future job market actually wants. Okay, so that you can actually prepare yourself to fulfill that kind of expectation and also demand in order to secure a job. Okay, so what they want is actually very simple. Okay, if you look at some of those job advertisement, okay, you will see one particular requirement is actually able to work with minimum supervision. Okay, I'm not sure whether you have seen that, but I've seen a lot during those days when applying job lah. Huh? So what is the meaning of this? Meaning to say that actually employers want you to be able to work independently. Okay, so they hire you, they pay you to get the job done. All right, they are not paying you to actually join the company and also expecting someone to train you up, then only you able to contribute. No, most of the employers, they want you to be able to contribute, work independently, solve the problem, then you are considered, then only you are considered actually a good employees lah, I would say. All right. So, but anyhow, let's look at the statistic. What actually the employers really want in specific. Okay. What you can see here is actually the top 5 traits valued by the employers. Okay. Basically, these are the 5 quality or characteristic they wish to actually see from you. All right. So first one is a problem-solving skill. Second, communication skill. Third, ability to work independently. Fourth, willingness to learn. Fifth, ability to work under pressure. All right. So to summarize all these criteria, all right. So meaning to say that the employers actually wanted you to be able to contribute immediately after you join their organization. So they want you to be able to work independently. All right. In order to do that, you might need some other soft skill like leadership skill, problem-solving skill, communication skill, all right, ability to work under pressure. All right. So these are actually all those skills are very much related to each other for you to actually to be able to work independently and contribute as soon as you join the organization. All right. So they also want you to be constantly add value to yourself. Okay, you must be willing to learn and also improve yourself. okay, constantly add value to yourself and also add value to the organization. All right, this is basically what the employers want. Okay, then why academic institution fail to meet the industry expectation? So the answer is actually quite straightforward because there is a mismatch between the university curriculum and also the industry needs. Okay, meaning to say that there's actually lack of communication or collaboration between the industry and also academic institution. Okay, so here we know that almost all employers actually wanted to hire experienced candidate who can actually work independently with minimum supervision, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so this is also the reason why fresh graduate is actually unable to secure a job in the job market nowadays because they don't have enough working experience and also soft skills. All right. Okay, what you see here is one of the very common feedback from the industry about fresh graduate. All right, adaptability, problem solving, creativity, influence, drive, empathy, and collaboration. What I've observed is that those things aren't being practiced by college graduate. All right, so this is one good example of the mismatch between the university curricular and the industry needs. Okay, so meaning to say students did not pick up the right skill in their degree program to meet the industry needs. Okay. Then even Albert Einstein also think that the only source of knowledge is experience, right? So here what he's trying to say is the knowledge that you learn from book will only remain a knowledge in your brain. All right. So if you do not know how to apply your knowledge to help you to complete a task, to solve a problem, so that knowledge will not add value to yourself. It will not add value to the organization as well. Okay. That's also the reason why employer they value working experience more than your university grade. Okay. Okay, so how the academic institution able to address this kind of issue of lacking of skills that required by the industry? So let's recap again what actually the employers or the industry wants. Okay, basically soft skills is very, very important for them. Work experience also very important, and also the hard skills. Okay, so meaning to say that based on this expectation from the industry, you can actually incorporate all those elements into your program of study. Okay, so how you be able to do it? For example, all right, incorporate your soft skills development into the program. Okay, you need to say asking students to do more presentation, let them to have some group activities for them to develop a teamwork kind of social skill, all right, and also the leadership skill. Okay, so what about work experience? Okay, work experience, you really need to actually either simulate the working environment in your academic institution to let the student actually do the work on their own. Okay, or putting them in the industry in an extensive kind of internship program. Okay, and also expose them to various industry if possible. Okay, then more practical and also simulation classes will also help them to actually able to apply those knowledge in the classroom into a real situation or real life kind of scenario lah. Okay, so finally knowledge transfer by industry expert. Okay, so I always believe that industry expert is actually they are so-called subject matter expert, right? So the way that they actually deliver their knowledge or transfer their knowledge is actually sometimes much more specific and also effective. Okay, so because they are the one who actually work in the industry, they know what kind of skill or what kind of knowledge, specific knowledge that you need to accomplish a certain task. So they will actually focus more on teaching students to actually pick up those skills. Okay, that's the reason why it's good to have some industry experts to actually teach the student rather than purely academic background of lecturer teaching the students. All right. So with that, I would like to introduce you to a new program offered by University Tunku Abdul Rahman, which is the Bachelor of Science, Environmental, Occupational, Safety and Health. All right. So this program is actually precisely designed to fulfill the industry needs. Okay, like what I mentioned just now. Right. So let's look further into what the program is actually offering. All right, this is the program structure. So it's a Bachelor of Science degree. All right, so the total credit hour is actually 131, very similar to other 3 years program. All right, so no doubt we are offering this program in 4 years, but you only spend 3 years in the university, and the other 1 year is actually your internship. Okay, so this program is actually MQA accredited. Okay, so you can easily check whether this program or any program of study, whether they are MQA accredited or not via the MQA website. Okay. So why this MQA accreditation is so important is because no doubt there are a lot of other institutions is offering so-called this fast-track program which actually allow you to complete the program in a shorter duration, a cheaper fees, all right, as their selling point. But without MQA accreditation also means that you are not following the standard developed by MQA. Okay, those standards is actually developed according to the feedback from the industry expert, the relevant authorities, and many other parties which actually contribute to the development of the program standard. Okay, so complying to the standard also means that you are actually fulfilling the requirements of the industry. Okay, so that's the reason why MQA accreditation, no doubt, is tough, but it's very important. Okay, to actually make sure that those students graduated from the program, they are actually having the right kind of skill which actually perceived as important by the industry or the job market. Okay, so again, this program is actually developed based on the MQA program standard for medical and health sciences. All right. Okay, there are a few key salient features about this program that I would want to share with you. Okay, so this program is actually very unique as compared to other similar program offered by other academic institutions. All right, the first one is this program is a double major program. So it integrates both environmental health and occupational safety and health discipline within the same program. Okay, so why we want to do that is because we know that this is what the employer wants according to the market survey that we have done. All right, so as you can see nowadays, most of the organization, they only hire a single person, which actually they call it ESH engineer or HSE engineer to actually handle both environmental and occupational safety and health matters. All right. So if you are a graduate from this program, meaning to say that you are really well equipped with knowledge that required by that particular position. Okay. So most program of study offered by other universities only focusing on OSH, occupational safety and health. Okay, that means they don't study much about environmental, environmental health. All right, so meaning to say that if your company wanted to hire ESH engineer, so a graduate from occupational safety and health program may be lacking in this environmental kind of knowledge lah. All right, so this program also offer the graduate more choices for their future career, meaning to say that they can actually focus their career in environmental health or occupational safety and health afterwards. All right. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, what kind of career that you can actually pursue after you graduate from this program. All right. So then again, Double major also means that you have the sufficient knowledge and skill to be able to multitask. All right. So you are qualified to become an ESH engineer rather than someone who actually only having occupational safety and health kind of knowledge. All right. So it also makes you become a better thinker by incorporate different kind of discipline into one particular program, right? So next, we offer a very comprehensive curriculum according to what the employer wants. Okay, so we have a lot of courses to enhance the students' soft skills like communication skill, leadership skill, teamwork, strategic thinking, creativity, commitment to integrity, knowing that this is actually what the future job market wants. All right, we have a specific soft skill subject like English for professional communication, or we also offer a subject called industrial psychology. We also have a co-curriculum subject, all right, to enhance the students' soft skills, all right. So of course, beside all that, we in most of the subject that we are offering, there will be a group assignment and also a presentation. Okay, so that is the way that we actually train up their presentation skill, which is actually one of the soft skills that are actually important as perceived by the employer, right? Okay, next. The slide features number 3 is extensive industry training. Okay, so far what I know, not a single program in the market is actually doing this. All right. So why we want to do this is actually because of this is what the industry want. Also, we try to actually prepare our students to meet that kind of industry expectation. All right. So we actually sending our students for internship 3 times, okay, during their program of study. All right. So meaning to say that this 3 times is actually equivalent to 1 year of industry training. Meaning to say upon graduation, you actually have 1 year of industry working experience, all right? Compared to other program, maybe you only send your student to actually 3 months or some you actually send for 6 months, but we in total send our student for 1 year of internship, all right? But they will undergo 3 times in industry training differently in a specific placement. For example, in a clinical setup, in a government agency, and also in the private sector. All right. So this is the way to actually make them gain their knowledge through the experience as what perceived as important by the employer. All right. So throughout this process also, they will be able to actually understand what kind of career that which is suitable for them in future. Then upon graduation, they can actually straight away to actually join that specific industry which actually suit them the most. All right. So last but not least, we also have academic staff with extensive industry background. For example, they are certified occupational safety and health officer with more than 10 years industrial experience teaching our students. We also invite the external certified industrial hygienist to teach some of the practical classes. So we believe that this is the best way of transferring the knowledge from the subject matter expert to our student and make them able to pick up certain knowledge much easier and able to visualize and apply their knowledge in the real life working place afterwards. So basically, this is what you will study in this program. As I mentioned earlier, this is a double major program which incorporate environmental health and also occupational safety and health discipline. At the same time, we also incorporate some soft skills development kind of subject to further improve the soft skills of our students as required by the future job market. Okay, so as you can see here, basically they will learn about the toxic and also waste management, the water quality, okay, water treatment, okay, outdoor air quality, All right, so global health problem. Okay, this is the environmental health part. Whereas the occupational safety and health, they will learn about the occupational epidemiology, industrial hygiene, all right, emergency response and planning, fire, chemical, machinery safety, okay, hazardous substances management, all right, okay. The soft skill part, all right, is like as mentioned earlier, they also will pick up those soft skills through these subjects such as organizational psychology, English for professional communication, and also curriculum. All right. So apart from that, I also learn about the applicable environmental and occupational safety and health law. Okay, and also this ergonomics. All right. So basically, this is the overview of what they are going to learn in this program of study. Okay, this is the entry requirements for this program. So basically, you only need credit in 2 science subjects, namely biology, chemistry, or physics, mathematics. All right, so either in STPM, A-level, UEC, SAM, CPU, Foundation in Science, Matriculation, or others, equivalent qualification recognized by Malaysia government. All right, so if you are a diploma holder, your CGPA must be more than 2.75. If your CGPA is less than 2.75, you only need to top up with another 3 years relevant working experience to qualify yourself to enroll for this program. Okay, so for SPM, O level, and other equivalence qualification, you only need to enroll in Foundation in Science in Utah, okay, which will eventually lead you to the degree in EOSHA. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to share with you a few frequently asked questions that we receive from parents and also students ever since we launched this program. So let's take a look. Okay, first question, can I get a job after graduate from this program? So before I answer this question, we need to understand whether there is a demand in the current job market for graduates from this program. Whether or not is there a need for someone with this environmental and occupational safety and health knowledge and skill to help them in the industry. Okay, if we talk about the demand in the current job market, yes, definitely there is a demand in the current job market. So why I say so? Because as you all can see nowadays, environmental and occupational safety and health issues are everywhere. Okay, so we have seen a lot of illegal dumpings of toxic waste. We also have seen this Sungai Kim Kim river pollution, and also the most recent explosion in Beirut that cost the life of more than hundreds. Okay, there's also another sad incident that happened in one of the factory in Penang that cost the life of an employee who stuck in the machine. So all these problems actually require the attention of the company to hire someone with environmental and occupational safety and health knowledge and skill to help them to actually mitigate and also prevent the recurrence of similar issues in the future. All right, so we definitely need someone in the future job market to help to actually preserve our environment and also help to protect the safety of the workers as well as the protect the company property and also the asset, right? So one of the aim of this program is actually to get our student to become a certified safety and health officer after they graduate. All right. Of course, that is not the only career that they can pursue. So there are many other careers that they can pursue after they graduate from this program. So I will go into that later. But now just focus on safety and health officer alone. Is there a demand in the market? All right. So Tan Sri Leong Kah has the answer for you. All right. So in 2017, he said that at least 9,000 safety and health officers are needed in the country to cater for the increasing workforce and new development projects nationwide. All right. So I believe the situation is actually even worse now, whereby there's actually a lot of mega project is actually ongoing without a safety officer actually overseeing the project. All right. So of course, definitely there is a demand. All right. So according to Edu Advisor, all right, so the survey done by the Edu Advisor, so occupational safety and health is one of the Malaysia's most in-demand jobs for 2019. All right, so I believe this is convincing enough to tell you that yes, there is always a demand in the future for safety and health officer. So Gamuda, giant construction company, also facing this shortage of safety officers in their organization. All right, so they have a lot of mega project ongoing, but they just don't have enough safety officer to actually help them overseeing those projects. All right, so this also shows that the demand is always there. It's just that we don't have enough qualified personnel to actually take up the role, right? So what you can see here is a list of competent person required under the law. All right. So safety and health officer is actually part of the requirement under the OSHA 1994, whereby if you have more than 500 workers or you have a project more than 20 million, you need to hire a safety officer. All right. But other than that, under the law, there are many other competent person that you need if your company actually falls under the requirement of the certain specific regulation. For example, if you do not want to become a safety and health officer, okay, there are many other career that you can pursue. For example, CHRA assessor, okay, authorized gas tester, hygiene technician, indoor air quality assessor, lift competent person, major hazard competent person, noise risk assessor, site safety supervisor, or steam internal combustion engine engineer. All right. So the law itself already guarantee you a job. All right. So if you are qualified for it, you can always choose the career that actually suit you the most. Okay. This is only under the occupational safety and health. So for the environmental part, you also have a lot of competent person that actually require under the law of Environmental Quality Act 1974. All right. So if you don't like to actually pursue your career in occupational safety and health, you can actually focus on environmental related kind of profession. For example, certified environmental profession in scheduled waste management or impact filters operation, in scrubber operation, all right, in industrial effluent treatment system, all right, or this in treatment of palm oil mill effluent, okay, sewage treatment plant, leachate treatment plant, okay, or EIA consultant. All right. Again, there's another environmental regulation actually protecting you, and not to say protecting, all right, and making sure that you be able to actually secure a job because this is required under the law. Like it or not, the company must have it whenever the particular regulation actually applicable to the processes. All right. So again, you do not really have to worry about the future demand. All right. There are always a lot of opportunity for the graduates from this program. Okay, second question, how much can I earn? All right. So I do not have an exact answer for you, but I can show you the average, how much people making with the similar qualification, right? Okay, so this is a safety officer salary according to Job Street. All right. So the most common salary with this title is actually 7,300. Okay. There are also people making as low as 2,000, but they also people making as high as 12,600. So in average, most of them is actually fall under this category of 7,300 lah. Okay. So this is also another data from JobStreet according to the seniority. All right, safety and health officer, if they are the senior level kind of safety officer, so minimum they are making about 5,000. and average 6,300. So maximum can go as high as 8,000. Whereas junior executive, so the lowest will be 2,003. Then after the average 3,000, then up to 3,900 lah. All right. So for environmental officer, okay, at the bottom, so senior executive, you can earn as much as 3,006 minimum, then average 4,000, maximum 6,000. Okay, then junior executive 2,005 minimum, average 3,000, maximum 3,690. Okay, so this is another data from pay scale. All right. So environmental health and safety officer, EHS officer salary lah. Okay, this is yearly income 46,000. So average is about like 4,000 per month lah. All right. And another from pay scale, safety officer alone, 49,000, close to 50,000. All right. So which is equivalent to closely 5,000, I would say. All right, per month. Okay, another question. Can a girl become a safety officer? Oh, definitely yes. Okay, so in fact, I know a lot of female safety officers in the market currently. All right, I used to be a safety officer, so my colleague also, a female, a ladies, okay, she also a certified safety officer. All right, so no limitation for female safety officer. They can be as good as a male safety officer lah. All right. So other than becoming safety officer, like I said, they actually, some of them choose to become a competent scaffolder some more. All right. Or if you don't prefer to become a safety officer, some will actually become an OSH coordinator, CHRA assessor, hygiene technician, indoor air quality assessor, noise risk assessor, site safety supervisor. All right. So if you don't believe me, go and check it out at my KKP website lah. The JKKP website, there is a list of competent person. You can always find a lot of ladies' name there. All right. Okay. Another frequently asked question. I can complete the Safety and Health Officer Certificate course in NIOSH or FMM much faster. Why should I enroll this program? Right. So before I give you the answer, let's make a simple comparison between these two. Right. So let's look at the comparison between these two programs. All right. So first, the qualification acquired. Okay, SSO certificate program, they are going to actually grant you a certificate. All right. Whereas the degree program that we are offering in Utah, they are going to give you an honors degree lah. So definitely you know the difference between a certificate and degree lah. Huh? We are not even comparing a diploma with a degree, which is actually the gap is actually closer lah. But this is definitely a huge gap lah. Huh? Certificate and also a degree. All right. So practical classes for the certificate program, you definitely do not have any practical classes. Okay, because I've taken this course before when I wanted to apply to become a safety officer those days. But okay, yes, they only have a classroom kind of training lah, without any practical classes lah, right? Because they don't have the facility to give you practical. Whereas the degree program that we are offering in Utah, we have a lot of practical classes to further enhance the knowledge of the student and allow them to actually apply those knowledge in actual workplace lah. Right? So soft skills development, definitely no for this certificate program lah. All right. Whereas in the degree program, like I mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of subjects to further enhance your soft skills. All right. So discipline of study certificate program, they only focus on occupational safety and health. Whereas our degree program, we have two disciplines, which is the OSH and also environmental health. So obviously the career prospect for certificate will be limited because they only have one discipline. All right. Also, because this is only a certificate program, they won't actually grant you a better pay as compared to a degree lah. All right. So in degree, you have more opportunities. You can actually always divert your career and also get a better prospect or higher salaries in future. All right. So career advancement. So for certificate program, very limited growth. Okay. So because only degree program, most of the time they are qualified for management position. Okay. SSO examination exemption. So as you all know, this SSO certificate program, so you need to sit for 4 papers also an interview But in degree program, we are trying to get the exemption from JKKP So in future, meaning to say, graduate from this program, they do not have to take this SSO examination. All right, they just need to gather this 3 years of working experience to actually qualify them to apply for this so-called green book or safety and health officer. Okay. Okay, that's basically the end of my sharing today. So if you are interested to know more about our environmental, occupational safety and health degree program, so please feel free to contact me. So my name is Heng. So my email is yschin@utah.edu.my. My contact number is 016-510-3011. So again, thanks for your attention. So hope to see you all again in future. Thank you.
Thank you, T.S. Chin, for your valuable sharing and input on this exciting course. I believe by now, with your sharing, will actually encourage the younger generations to become a certified safety officer after this. Okay, so before we begin with our question and answer sessions, you can actually drop your questions at the meeting chat if you would like to ask any questions to the speaker. So besides that, we also need your kind feedback on this webinar. So the feedback form is now shared in the meeting chat. So you can do it after the end of this webinar. So again, also reminder to the Utah staff and students to sign in and sign out your attendance. The attendance sheet is actually also attached in the meeting chat. Okay, now we will proceed with the Q&A sessions. So first, we will ask the questions submitted by the participants during the evaluation. Okay, the first question, T.S. Chin. What is the requirement to become a competent consultant?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, Dr. Leong?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, myself as an OSH consultant, I believe the most important criteria that you need to have is actually your working experience. Because if you are going to be an advisor for a company, right, so they definitely need your working experience to advise them in many things, including those development of procedure and also conducting a training for their workers. All right, so you also need to have extensive knowledge about occupational safety and health and also environmental related regulations. So that is a must also for me. And also your networking because most of the time people will need you to conduct certain monitoring that only can be done by a competent person. So as a consultant, you may not have that kind of competency. So you need to have networking to those competent person in order to carry out the job. So for me, these are the few criteria that you need to meet before you actually consider yourself a consultant. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, the next question is, are safety officer and security guard officers of the same ranking or position? Or do both have similar job scope or responsibility? Or maybe they have a totally different job scope?
Okay, totally different. If you work in the industry before, definitely you will know the difference. All right, so the security guard is actually very much different from the role of a safety officer. So security officer, like the security guard, they basically is doing this crime prevention kind of job. So controlling the entry, make sure that nobody is stealing the stuff from the company, right? So all these things. But SHO or the safety officer is definitely different. All right. So safety officer is basically helping the company to prevent accident by controlling the hazard that being exposed to the employee. All right. That means security guard they do not need to know what the employee is actually doing. But safety officer, yes, you need to know each and every one of them, then what are the jobs they are doing, what are the hazards that they are being exposed to. So you need to control those hazards to prevent accidents or injury that actually could actually happen to them in future. So definitely this is a huge difference, okay, between these two.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, the third question is where to start when a chemical engineering graduate wants to become a safety officer? I believe this question is coming from an existing chemical engineering student.
Okay, seems like this student regret taking this program. If you feel that this career doesn't suit you, then after that you pursue the career of becoming a safety officer. Yes, there's actually many ways of doing it. One of the ways is actually since you already have a degree, so okay, you can actually take this course offered by Utah, which is a 4 years program that I mentioned just now. So you get yourself actually graduated from the program, then after that you can straight away gather 3 years working experience and then submit your application to JKKP. So another way is actually taking this NIOSH certificate course. All right, so it's a 1 month program. Then after that, yes, you sit for the program. You completed the program. Then you need to take 4 exam papers. Then after that, attend an interview. After you pass everything, then again you need to gather 3 years working experience. Then only you can actually submit your application to JKKP. All right. Basically, this is the 2 way that actually for this petrochemical engineering student, right, or chemical engineering student, right. All right. Yeah.
Chemical engineering student.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Maybe the students will actually ask this question if let's say I'm not sure he or she have a doubt, maybe he can actually drop you an email.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely. All right.
Yep.
So feel free to actually
Okay.
call me, text me, right? No problem. Yeah.
Good. So for these persons who actually ask the question, if you want to know more, let's say after you graduate as a chemical engineer, so you can actually drop TS Chin an email, so he can actually advise you from that. Okay, next question, TS Chin. Is it necessary that I need to go for Green Book exam, even though I have a degree in EOSH?
Okay. Yeah. If you're thinking about we are talking about the course offered by Utah. So currently we are applying so-called the recognition from JKKP to actually exempt our student from taking this so-called SHO exam after they graduate. All right. So anyhow, we yet to receive the approval, but we are confident that we are going to get it because DOSH is actually part of the panel who developed the MQS standard for this program. So meaning to say that in the first place, once we complying to the program standard, we get certified by MQA, then meaning to say that DOSH also recognize our program. We just need to have a formal submission and also approval from the DOSH, which will actually take some time. All right. So the answer is yes, you will get the exemption later on after you graduate once you get the approval from JKKP.
Okay. So next question. What to do after graduate? I believe this is the question coming from potential student.
Oh, okay.
Who want to enroll into this course. So he or she want to know what next after graduate from this course.
Okay. If he or she pay attention to the webinar just now, actually he or she should have the answer already because like I showed under the regulation of OSHA 1994 and also QA 1974, there are many guaranteed jobs which is a competent person required under the law. So it could be either a safety officer, CHRA assessor, industrial hygienist. All right, you can become an environmental competent person like schedule waste competent person, okay, competent person for the wastewater treatment plant, for the air scrubber system. There are just so many. I cannot name it all here. So yes, basically there's a lot of things that you can do. just the most important thing is actually is your interest and also your strength lah, whether you're actually interested in environmental part or occupational safety and health part lah. All right. So that's my advice lah.
I believe it's going to be a very huge potential because all big companies, regardless of big company or small company,
Yeah.
they also need all departments, right? I believe.
Yes. So whether they like it or not, because if they have certain like hazardous processes that actually like applicable under certain regulation, you must hire a competent person to help you to actually like overseeing the whole process. So you cannot say no because the law says so lah. So that's a guaranteed job for me lah. So to say, yes.
Yep. Even from ranging from construction, from manufacturing, all these.
Yes, the bad part is if you once you become a safety officer, your license can actually apply to all kind of industry, not only one type of industry. Yes.
Yep. So multi-level kind of.
Oh yeah, depends on your interest. Again, like I say,
Yep. Okay. So the next question is, I think
it's
it's very similar to the Green Book, but I am myself also not very sure. What is the difference between Yellow Book and Green Book?
Okay.
Really, this is not the color difference.
Which one is actually superior over the other? People also wanted to know lah. So for me okay, Yellow Book means site safety supervisor. All right. So yes, previously they do give you a yellow small book as a proof of competency lah. Then the Green Book they also give you another green like a passport. All right, green color one. So but this Yellow Book is actually only meant for construction project lah. Okay, so but SHO, like I said, you can apply to all kind of industry. So when we talk about the difference, definitely there's a difference because Yellow Book, you can only work in the construction line. Okay, you are an enforcer, but SHO or safety officer, you are the policy maker. You are the executive level. All right. So in terms of the pay, if you can go to JobStreet, you go and do a quick search. Definitely SHO or Green Book holder, they make more than Yellow Book holder lah. Okay. Then also like yes, in order to become a Yellow Book holder, you only need to sit for 10 days course. It's about 1,600 if not mistaken. Then Green Book certificate course is about 22 days and about 4,000 something lah. During my time lah. So in terms of the extensive of the course that they offer, you already know lah the responsibility, who is actually having the bigger responsibility and who is going to get higher pay lah. Alright. So this is basically the difference between the two lah.
So I believe you also will actually recommend people who actually take Green Book, right, rather than just stop.
Of course. Of course. If you are the degree holder, you better go for Green Book lah. Don't downgrade yourself to get a Yellow Book lah.
Correct. So I mean, after this course, true. You have a bigger market.
Yeah. Yes, like I said.
Okay, this is the question from the student. Is the 1 year internship include in the 3 years working experiences?
I believe she a bit confused because yes, our program is 4 years in total. So in these 4 years, 1 year is actually the internship lah, which is going to break down into 3 times lah. Okay, meaning to say that you are still spending 4 years for this program in order to graduate, but you are only staying in the university for 3 years. The rest of the 1 year kind of duration is actually your internship, whereby you are going to stay outside and work outside.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I hope I answer her question.
Right. Yeah. So the next question is, which kind of field requires safety and health officer, except for oil and gas?
Oh, not just oil and gas. Like I said there is a list of industry with different requirements lah. If there are high risk industry you might actually need a safety officer even you are having less than 500 workers. Okay, the common one will be like semiconductor factories. As long as you have more than 500 workers, or you have any construction project more than 20 million kind of value, so you need a safety officer according to the law.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a live question from the participants.
Okay.
Just now, what he meant for the previous question is, he means that if actually after graduate,
All right.
you mentioned about 3 years working experience. Will the 1 year internship included as part of the 3 years working experience?
Oh, that is a good question. All right, you can actually keep it as your working experience as a safety officer lah, right? If you are in charge on the safety related matters lah, so that is actually is considered working experience. Okay, so in future, if you have this 1 year, that means you need to gather another 2 years of working experience and submit to JKKP lah, see whether they approve or not lah. I believe they will approve because this is an industrial experience that you are doing OSH related job. So no reason for that to actually reject this lah, I believe.
So they won't waste the 1 year internship.
Yeah, they would make. Yeah,
this-
out of that, they already have 1 year working experience. That means they go for interview. Easily they can convince the employer to hire them because I already know how to actually work as a safety officer in the industry. Right. That is an advantage.
Yeah, I believe because of this course, the development of this course also mainly to suit the industry need. That's why there's this 1 year internship for students.
Yes.
And they will go into 3 different categories, right?
Yes, yes.
In your presentation earlier.
Yes. Like I said, this is according to the program standard. So the program standard also developed by industry expert and also local authorities. They know that you need this experience. That's why they want you to force your student to go for longer internship. That's why we are complying to the program standard. So yes, they will actually, no doubt some student may not like it, but this is what needed in the future job market.
Yep. True. Right. Okay. There's another 3 more questions here. So is physical building and document safety under OSHA?
Sorry, come again. If
physical building and document safety under OSHA.
The question is not so clear, but anyhow, if you are talking about building safety, I believe it is under this uniform building by law, which is more towards this, the responsibility of the facility department rather than the safety officer. Okay, so anyhow, I don't know what kind of building safety in specific the question is actually asking about, but if they are talking about the building design, getting the approval from the local authorities, most of the time this is the responsibility of the facility department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question is, do we still need I don't know how to pronounce it, NEBOSH?
And NEBOSH. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. To work as a safety officer in Malaysia, you don't need that. You only need a green book. Okay. But to work as a safety officer in overseas country, you need NEBOSH. Simple as that lah. That is an international safety officer passport or something like.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. That's why their
green book.
Their program is actually they will actually compare the safety regulation in different countries. Then they make you understand the other countries' safety regulation so that you can actually work overseas and apply the knowledge there. Yes.
Okay. So these 2 questions I think is more is related. So are your students possible to pursue postgraduate study after graduate or any related field? And also which one is necessary? 3 years experience in the field or continue studies to get PhD qualification?
Okay, depends on the career you want to pursue. If you want to go for PhD, definitely you don't need that working experience because it's only a PhD. No entry requirement, no working experience requirement for PhD, right? So of course you can pursue like master, then after that go for PhD. Yes, in fact, one of the lecturer teaching this subject also, she's a PhD of in this industry hygiene, right? But yes, again, become a PhD holder doesn't mean that you are a qualified safety officer. All right, that is the academic line and also the industry. That is a different. Okay,
So
so
you,
if you
you still need the industry experience.
if you want to go to pursue your career in the industry, you need the booking experience in order to actually get certified as a safety officer. You need to apply to JKKP. JKKP need the booking experience. PhD, you don't need that. Right?
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a huge difference, basically.
It always depends on what career path the students want.
They cannot mix up these two, It's totally different career path. It's become a lecturer or become an academician or become an industry safety officer. They are totally different.
But definitely there's an opportunity for students who actually wanted to, let's say they want to go into the academic line. There's opportunity for them to further in postgraduate studies.
Just like me.
Currently also doing your master, right?
I work in the industry. Even that also we can convert to become an academician also. All right. You can always change your plan. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, I believe there's no more questions for the participants.
Okay.
So again, thank you very much, DHG, for your really very interesting and encouraging sharings to the younger generations. Hopefully, after your sharing, there's more people actually take up this course because there's a huge potential. The market needs safety officer.
Yeah.
It's just like how much we can actually produce graduates to actually cope with the demand of the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks again, TS Chin, for your sharing. Okay, I think we will end the webinar in a short while. So if you still have any questions, do drop TS Chin an email. I believe he will actually help you and can always advise you on, especially on this course. Okay? Yep. And also the last reminder here is remember for Utah staff and students to sign out after this webinar, and also the feedback. We need your kind feedback so that we can actually improve on our next webinar. So with that, I think thank you very much again, DS Chin, for your time and also for sharing. And thank you for the participants who actually joined us. And I think we exceeded the 1 hour time. Thanks everybody, and hope to see you all again in the near future. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.